What's going on, everybody? My name is Javon, and welcome to the first episode in a series of episodes on my Project 365 series, That Creative One. I have a podcast where I run an episode every single day. It's a daily podcast series for freelancers, for content creators, for anyone in the creative industry to try and get ahead in their craft. And today, we're going to be taking that a step further and putting that in video format. So let's hop right in. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about 5 things that you need to do for every client before every gig that's going to make your gig day run by so much more smoothly, and that it's going to protect both you and the client. So with that, let's get started. Number 1, you need to make a contract. I know that it oftentimes feels like it's a little bit overkill. If it's like, okay, you're going out to do a gig and it's like $75, why do you need a contract? A verbal contract should be enough. But what you need to understand is that you are a creative one. Your client is not necessarily going to be the creative one. They might not have the vision, they might not know exactly what they want, and they might believe that you're able to do everything in post, which a lot of the time it's a lot better to just get it straight out of the camera. So what you need to do is you need to make a contract that lists, all it needs to say is, I'm going to provide you with this service on this day. These are going to be the final delivered product. You can get revisions. You have this many amount of revisions. After you go over that, it's going to cost you this much. You sign it, he signs it, he or she, and then you're all set. Bob's your uncle. That's all that you need for a contract. You don't have to go between a lawyer. You don't need a judge. You don't need any of that. Contract is just a sheet of paper that you and your client signs, and it's kind of like it gets that verbal agreement on paper so that you have something to reference back. And that is crucial for every gig that I go on. I send them at least a little bit of something so that they know what I'm going to provide them, how much they owe me, what they're getting at the end of it, ... They sign it, date it, we're good to go. We can continue on from there. Number 2, the second thing that you need is a storyboard. And what does this mean? Well, a storyboard is a visual representation of what you plan on actually doing for that gig, for that client. So essentially, if you're going to be making some type of commercial for them, you need to know what scenes are going to be what. You need to know what you need to capture in each scene, the focal lengths that you're using, or if this is audio, you need to know for each section of music, if you want to do that, what type of microphone are you going to be using. You need to know all of this before you go into a gig. So not everybody storyboards. A lot of people just go off the cuff because as creators, as creative people, we have a vision in our head. So a lot of the time we can just go ahead and capture it. But storyboarding takes it to a whole new level. It makes everything run by so smoothly on the actual day, and it is amazing. I used to hate storyboarding, but I had a client who refused to accept me until I handed him a storyboard, and that was the smoothest gig that I ever did. Hands down, bar none. Storyboarding is critically important, so you need to do that. Number 3, the third thing that I do and that I believe you should do for every single gig is have a technical plan of what you're going to be doing. So what do I mean by having a technical plan? Well, in short, you need to know what microphones you're going to be recording on. You need to know if you're going to need a boom pole. You need to know if you're going to be doing video, what ISO do you want to shoot at? Are you shooting at base? What lenses are you going to be using for that shoot, for that specific kind of look that you're going for? What is the white balance? Are you bringing your own studio lights or are you going to be using natural light? These are all things that you have to answer before you go in so that you're not stumbling when you actually get to a set. Along with that is a painful memory that I have. Just take it from me. You need to learn and memorize and kind of modify your camera so that you know where everything is so that you're not stumbling around in the middle of a shoot. I had a portrait session where, I don't know what it was, but it took me like a legitimate 4 to 5 minutes to find how to switch my camera from autofocus to manual focus. It was embarrassing, it was frustrating, and since then, I've definitely taken the time to sit down and memorize where everything in my camera is. So before you go to a shoot, you need to have that technical knowledge so that your shoot runs smoothly and that you know where everything is, what you want everything shot at, what you want everything is all set, ready to go. Number 4, you need to make sure you have a gear list ready to go. There's nothing worse than getting to a shoot and realizing you forgot your memory cards at home. You forgot your batteries at home. Where's your wireless mic? Where's your boom pole? There's nothing worse than that. So the day before a shoot, I spend a painstaking amount of time sitting down, consulting a sheet of paper where I write everything that I believe I'm going to need for the next day, and I make sure everything is all set. All of the memory cards I need are formatted and wiped clean. The batteries are completely charged. I want to make sure that everything is all packed so there's no stress, there's no worry when you actually get there that you need to go out and get something else, because everything is all set and all ready to go. So make a gear list so that you know exactly what you need. And number 5, excuse me while I consult this so I can see what number 5 is. Tracking, storyboard, technical, track list. Well, I guess your shot list and your storyboard are a little bit different. So I'm gonna say your number 5 thing is a shot list. Now, how is this different from a storyboard? First, what is a shot list? Shot list is essentially, or a tracking list if you are into audio, a shot list is essentially every type of shot and the angles that you want to portray. Now you put that in your storyboard as well, yes, but your shot list, I like to personally go over it sometimes, depending on who they are, with my client. So for example, I will send them if it's someone who wants a maternity shoot, I will send them a Pinterest board. Not because I'm going to go over every single pose that they want under the sun, but because I want to make sure that I get a good 3 or 4 shots that they have specifically selected so I can hand tailor it and handcraft those poses to my clients. If I know what they're looking for, I can tailor how I'm shooting that day towards that. And that's also the same in the audio realm. Do you want to use a dynamic microphone? Do you want to use a condenser microphone? That's going to be based off of you, but it's also based off of the sound that you want to portray. If you have a grungier singer, you're not going to use a large diaphragm condenser microphone. You might use an RE320 to capture some of that grunge, capture more of that dynamic range, and kind of make it mellower. So you might want to use that dynamic microphone. Things of that nature, it ties in with the technical stuff, it ties in with the storyboard, but it's all of its own because with this, I like to consult my clients to see what they're looking for so I can craft that shot list or that track list to their specific needs. Thank you guys so much for joining back on the first episode of That Creative One, Project 365. I'm planning on putting out maybe 1-2 videos a week on this series, and if you want every single day to learn something about freelancing, go ahead and click that link down below in the description. I'm going to link you directly over to my podcast series on my personal website, and you can subscribe or you can just listen to all the content. I already got 42 episodes up for you guys to learn over 5 hours worth of content so that you guys can learn how to be the best freelancer you can possibly be. Like this if you liked it, comment down below, subscribe if you want to, and with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one.